Today our agenda is episode 4 and we will discuss today root detection bypass. Inside root detection bypass, we will discuss about automated way and by reverse engineering, and after that we will try to patch APK manually patch. So after that we will cover SSL pinning bypass and next hands-on on the Dozer tool, setup and configuration, usage and commands. After that we will cover MobiSafe setup, configuration and usage. Then cover MobiLXR VM setup and configuration. Then after we will talk about the benefit of Android hacking workshop and resources and references. So here I will be covered two parts: root detection bypass as well as SSL pinning bypass. Yeah. So before going to root detection bypass, first of all, know the what is the root. Actually, root is the username or account in the Linux-based or Unix-based system that can have higher level of privilege, that can execute operating system command, most of the operating system commands, and manage users, file systems, process, etc. So next thing is root privilege. What is root privilege? Root privilege are the power that have root user that can execute the maximum commands, manage everything whatever root user can do. So if you compromise some system, gain the lower level of privilege, then we need to escalate a privilege to the root privilege to gain the maximum permission to access the file, folder, users, all the things. Next, we cover root detection. What is root detection? Root detection is a methodology in the application code to detect whether the application is running in the root level privilege or simple privilege. So root detection, developers generally implement root detection call to the root detection library to access the root detection methodology. So next thing is, why is rooted device potentially dangerous to the user or apps? With a rooted device, a malicious program can elevate their privilege to the root user and bypass the protection mechanism that will be covered by Android Linux operating system as well as Android framework. And try to access the other application private data which is generally not accessible by the other application. Now root detection bypass automated way. Root detection bypass, here we can use FIDA and objection tool. So for root detection bypass, there is a client and server concept here. We need to deploy the FIDA server into the emulator device or mobile device, and you can use the command adb push FIDA server and push into the temporary directory. After that, run the FIDA server script in the background mode using the &sign. After that, install the FIDA and objection client in your local system. Then run the FIDA-ps space -u, capital U. That is, FIDA-ps is used to gain the process, all the running process inside the Android devices. Here I am using -u option for the my local system is connected to the Android device using the USB. So I am using -u. After that, run the objection command, whichever PID I have gained in the previous command, then use command objection -g for gadget. You can use app under app PID and use after that explore. So after running this command, you are able to inject the code into the Android system, and you are able to gain the interface of the that objection interface. And after that, after successful injection, then use the Android root disable command inside the objection interface. After running the command, this tool will automatically bypass the root detection mechanism, and our application able to run on the rooted system. So now move to the demo part. To see how this is possible. So I have opened I am running my emulator here, and Android 7.11 emulator already running, and try to open my application. I need to just reboot it. So I try to reboot. I am already inside the Android emulator, then use the command reboot to reboot my emulator. Yeah, and my emulator is ready. Yeah, for the demo purpose, I have installed a tool Arogya Setu. We will give the demo, the two demo with the Arogya Setu tool, Arogya Setu application. So first try to open Arogya Setu here and give the alert. You cannot use this application due to security restriction rooted device. So this application is able to detect this application is installed on the rooted device. So giving error, not able to uh, not able to allow to enter into the application, just giving pop-up. So we will try to bypass this using the automated way. Yeah. So before that, I have already running the Frida server there. I am using here Frida client. I have already installed. Installation is not covered in this part. You can do yourself. So I am running Frida-ps script and -u for the USB options. Oh, this is not connecting. So I need to check the Frida server is running or not. So just I go to the inside the application. No, ADV shell. I have copied this server inside the data / local / temp. I copy here FIDA server. So I run the FIDA server here inside the emulator. Yeah, now we started. Okay. So I try to gather that FIDA-ps-u process ID of all the application. Oh, sorry, I am inside here. Okay, we will try here. No issue. So run FIDA-ps-u. Yeah, I am able to get the all the application corresponding to the process ID. Here process ID of Arogya Setu is 3398. So I use here objection tool, objection-g for gadget. I can also use the name, either name or process ID. I am here using process ID. Explore. Yeah, I am the inside the interface of the objection. Then try to run the Android root disable. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now try to again open this application Aarogya Setu. Now there is no pop-up. I am able to get inside the application. If I go click upon next, 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 yeah, for the coming registration here. You to agree on the condition, allow the device to access and put in the mobile device. So here we bypass the application root detection using the FRIDA and the objection tool. Now move into the manual method. In manual method, we can use reverse engineering. So here we can use JDX GUI compiler. Before that we use JDGUI. Here we can also use JDGUI, but here I am using JDX GUI, more advanced tool. So I directly drop down my APK file here, and you can see here the all I am able to see all the code of this application. Since this code is obfuscated, you can rename the obfuscated function, class, variable, so you can easily identify the function. Now yeah, next move into there is an interface in JDX GUI. You can search the whatever string do you want to search. I have just searched here rooted. So after searching, I have got three result where rooted string is found. So here I can use the rooted string which is defined in the main application, not in the library. So here two searches are found in the main application, nic.got arogsetu, first one, and the second one is same. And you can see here the splash activity that on create means this is inside the splash activity classes. Inside the class there is a function on create. Both the search are replicated in the same function on create. So I click on the any of the function search any of the function. Then after that I have already inside the on create function. So you can see in the highlight section, you can see there is a function calling here common utils dot m 10695s with this. And if and this is checking with the if condition. If this function return any value, this function actually return true or false value. Okay, if this function return true value, that next function will be executed and pop up with the you cannot use this application due to security restriction, rooted device. That will give error. If this function return the false value, then our our cursor will not jump into the if block, and then jump to the else block, and it can bypass the this restriction. So here two things which we have to note, that either return function should have returned false value, or we can negative this value, return value, with the exclamatory marks. Here I have highlighted here. Put sorry put exclamatory marks inside the function returned and negate whatever result is coming, and then I am able to bypass this restriction, because in the rooted device this function always return the true value. So either we can negative this value, or or we can force the application to return the false value. So let's we see the review this function common utils dot this m.10695s, which value is returning, why true and false value are returning. And so for going to this function, just right click on this, select this function and right click on it and click on the go to declaration. After clicking this, you are inside the that function common utils. In the next slide you can see I am inside the function common utils dot m10695s. I am inside. You can see the first highlighted line. There is a verification. In the first highlighted line, there is checking for there is a file system slash app slash super user dot apk. It is checking this file is exist inside the device or not, and also check this. There is some return string value build which is assigned to build dot text, checking the some string test hyphen keys or some queue returning. Actually here you can see Google SDK or SDK, something this returning. If queue value is not SDK Google SDK, then always come into the block, if block, jump into if block and return the true value. Okay, in the case of rooted device, you can find the super user apk or you can check test hyphen key, always found. So always return here true value. In the next highlighted section, you can see in the there is also checking the su file inside the device. If there is not in, there is a if condition block. If there is a no existence of su file, then and also q value is SDK or Google SDK something, then it return the false value. So in this condition false value is returning and this condition true value is returning. So for bypassing, either disable this super user.apk file rename or su file or something, then if return false, then able to bypass it. But here we will not do these things. We will simply bypass this mechanism in the next slide. Yeah, in the previous slide, we will try to bypass just negative this value return value with the exclamatory mark. We'll try to bypass. In the case of emulator device, the always return value is true. Then jump into the if block. That I will just negative this value, so our cursor will not jump into the if block and just go to the else block. I will show you in the demo section. So next section is manually patching of APK file. So for manually patching, you have to first of all you have to decompile the APK file using the APK tool. After that, in the previous section we have seen there is a file and there is a file splash activity dot their kt file. Actually application is Kotlin. So here equivalent file is APK file actually convert the file into a Smalley file. Actually a Smalley file is a file which generally code is present into the assembly DEX assembly format. So I have just opened this file which is equivalent to the I mistakenly written Java equivalent to the splash activity.kotlin file. You can compare here this in the snapshot. I have opened both the things. So here you can compare this function in the source code and corresponding to the Smalley file. Here is a in 1280 line, you can see the condition checking is there, assembly code is there. So I will try to here negative this value here, actually checking if equal to 0 p1, if p1 equal to 0, then send the interpreter to the next slide and don't execute to the, you cannot use this application, you can just bypass the rooted device protection mechanism. So in case of Android, yeah, so in case of Android, you can see that p1 value is always to true and not 0. So I have to change here equal to 0, equal, if condition I need to change here not equal to 0. Then our if there is no p1 value is not equal to 0, then go to the condition 0 part and do not execute the pop-up. So in this slide you can see I have mentioned here I need to just negative the value, if not equal to 0 p1, then move on to condition 0 at line 1280. So I can show you all this in demo. After that, changing that file, we need to recompile the modified APK file using again APK tool, using the command APK tool -b APK source folder name -o. After that, whichever you want to give this name to the APK. So here B option is used for build the APK, and -o for the output, save into the output file. After that, I will try to generate the RSA key to use to sign the modify APK. I will use here key tool. There is a tool you can use to generate the key here. And after that, I will use the jar signer to sign the modify APK here. In the next step, I will try to install that APK into the rooted device. So come to the demo part. Yeah. So I have already I have decompiled my APK file, Arayog Setu file. So save into the Arayog Setu folder. So I open it, and after that go where is a Smalley folder. Here is all the source code available in the Smalley format. Click on it, and my main application lies in the folder NIC. Then go NIC, then GUI, then Arayog Setu. After that, this Smalley folder exists in the view. Then go to the view section, and here is you can see there is a file splash activity.smalley. So I have to modify this thing into this file. So open it to text editor, and after that search that string rooted. Okay, so I have found the code here in 1280 line. There is a if equal to 0 p1 and then condition 0. Here if p1 is 0, then move to the condition 0. So we can see where is the condition 0 exists. Yeah, condition 0 is here starting from the here 12.1297 line here. So I need to move my cursor execution to here. But you can see in the case of rooted device, it is not possible not jump to the condition 0, and run the, you cannot use this application due to security restriction. So what I can do, I just negative this value, not equal to 0, not equal to 0. I just modify it. So if this value always is, in the case of routing device, this value always not 0. So just my execution move to condition 1 and do not execute the pop-up root devices. So I just modify it and save it. I save it this file. So I have saved all the things here. Yeah. So after saving, I need to recompile this file into the APK. So for this, I again go to the command prompt. Yeah, here my folder is Aroghi Setu. So I run the command apk tool -v options, and then folder name I will put there. After that, I put -o option and the file name. Setu. I have just given the mode modified .apk. Try to recompile it. Yeah, you can see my APK is ready, android_setu_mod.apk. So I need to sign this APK using my public key. So for this, I need to generate my key. So I will be using here key tool command, key tool utility for the generating the key, RSA key. So use key tool, sorry, key tool -gen key pair -v key store name my key store dot key store alias and alias giving my key, my_key. I'm using my key here, and put key algorithm RSA here, and then define key size here 2048, and then -validity certificate validity dt 365 days. So here I am using key tool utility. I mistakenly. So here is option is gen key pair, generate key pair v for verbose -key store. Option is to create the key store -alias. Option is to the use this alias name to sign the certificate. Option key alg is used to the define the algorithm. I am using RSA -key size to define the key size. I am here using key size 2048 -validity to define the validity of the certificate. Here I am using 365 days. So after entering asking for the key store password. So I have give any password. Just a minute. I will put my password here. Anything you can want. So after that, ask for your first name, last name. You can give everything, anything. I am giving Vapra. Organization, I am giving Vapra. What organization name? I am giving Vapra. City, locality, I am giving Noida. And state, UP. And country code, India. So my certificate here is asking for the confirmation. So I have given yes. After that, key store is generated. We can see using the ls command. Here is my key store dot key store. So here the key store is created. So I can use this key store to sign my modified APK. So use here jar signer. So use jar signer command. Digest ALG SA and key store, putting my above created key store, and then file APK modified name Arogya Setu underscore mod dot APK, and then alias name. I have given my underscore key above. So I run, actually here is a command jar signer used for the verbose for the see the result in the verbose mode. Here sing ALG means signing algorithm is I am using SA with RSA. SA with RSA I am using actually just a minute. SA with RSA, digest algorithm SA, and key store I am defining created previously. My key store my key store and the application name, and after that my that alias name my key. Yeah, asking for the password for the key store. So whichever password I have given, just entering it. Yeah. Now my jar signed file is created. Here is a warning is giving warning. The signer certificate is self-signed. So a warning is I am self-signed, created self-signed certificate and sign with the self-signed certificate. So my here the modified APK is ready to install. Now this install this APK my emulator. Yeah, before that I have to uninstall the previous one application. Yeah, app. So I install it, Aragya Setu, previous one. Now install, able to install it. After that, I will try to install my modify APK. This is the APK I have modified APK. So I try to install using drop down. I think something error is giving. Just a minute, my system is hang. Now check what error is giving. Yeah. I think something error is coming inside it. So not worry. Actually, I have generated another one APK already. Step is same, whichever I covered. So I use modify APK here. APK tool. This is my custom APK. I generated this earlier. So I try to install this. Yeah. Now APK is installed. Yeah, APK installed. If I click in this API, there is no anything is asking. Just enter the application and select next, 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 and for the register now. You can agree the all the things, allow, and put the your mobile number for registering. So here this application is using actually a Bluetooth device and GPS device using. So in the emulator by default, Bluetooth is not present, so I cannot register here to show you further. So next move to the another one section. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the end of section. I will reply you. Yeah. So move to the next section, SSL pinning. So SSL pinning is what is SSL pinning? Actually, SSL pinning is the method associating a host with its certificate or public key. Application initiates secure TLS connection with the server and verify the server certificate with the pinned one certificate. If that certificate not match with the pinned one certificate, then drop the connection with the server. So SSL pinning is there. Why SSL pinning? SSL pinning is an additional layer of security to prevent MITM. What happen actually? Security or malicious user generally drop their custom certificate inside the certificate store and try to capture the SSL connection. So to prevent this type of attack, SSL pinning is coming. So you need to implement SSL pinning in the secure way. So move to the next section. So type of SSL pinning. Actually, two type of SSL pinning. One is certificate pinning. In certificate pinning, developer generally what generally does retrieve some hard-coded section of the certificate and compare this hard-coded byte with the whenever TLS connection is initiating and the server generating the certificate to the client to then retrieve that bytecode from the server certificate and compare with the pinned bytecode. If that match, that further connection is providing. If it doesn't match, then drop the connection. In public key pinning, whatever in public key section, actually developer take the public key of the certificate and hash it and pin into the code, and this pinned hash key verify with the server public key hash. If match, then further communication take place. So a basic differences here is public key use, and in the certificate pinning, certificate bytes code is using to verify this pinning this. So SSL pinning bypass. So SSL pinning can be bypassed using following ways. Either you can use automated tools or same as reverse engineering that I used earlier for the root detection method bypass. So SSL pinning, here I will use again FIDA and objection tool to bypass SSL pinning. First step is same here. We need to gather the process ID of the application, and after that use objection tool to get inside the application using the app PID, and then after that run the command android SSL pinning disable. This is the simple method you can try. So let's go to the demo part. So I have first need to check the connection with the burp with the emulator. One dot 4. Yeah, I am able to intercept the request. So let's try to intercept the Arogya Setu traffic. Here till now I did not bypass the SSL pinning. So check for the simple SSL connection. Next. This is the client-based code, so not intercepting. Register now. Then click I agree. This functionality won't work because emulator doesn't have any Bluetooth device, so cannot able to register. Try with the registration. Let's here give the error something. You don't have Bluetooth device. Yeah, something error is giving. So here you can see I am not able to intercept any traffic from this application because there is a SSL pinning is implemented here. So what I try to bypass SSL pinning. Use again FIDA -ps -u. Yeah. So I here my Arogya Setu app process ID is 5746. I copy this process ID and use objection tool -g and then put process ID, and after that explore. Yeah, I am inside. So for bypassing SSL pinning, you just need to type android, automatically command will come in, android SSL pinning disable. Yeah, here you can see using trust manager for the implementing the SSL pinning. Yeah, verification. Actually, I have gone through this application and find that there is multiple mechanism they have implemented for the SSL pinning, multiple libraries using Trust Manager and the OK HTTP, and also some configuration file configuration network security config file are present. So basically using here Trust Manager implement dot verify chain using. So now try this, it's working or not. Open. Here you can see I am able to capture API, VI, app config. Here you can see that is ap.swaraksha.gov.in. That is the URL present in the application. I am able to capture here. Yeah. Again, next, register now. Yeah. Here you can see no Bluetooth device connected. Error is coming. I will try here. Yeah. Yeah, capturing. Actually, this won't work because I don't have a Bluetooth device into the emulator. So I am not able to register here, and because of Bluetooth restriction. So you can see there using the SSL bypass, I am able to capture the traffic into Burp Suite. You can also try using the reverse engineering. Here I am not covering reverse engineering because I have already shown this into the root detection bypass mechanism. So you can try. So we will talk about here Dozer and its usage. So Dozer is a security audit command where you can run the gathering of some information, exploiting the application. We can use this Dozer command. Initially developed by MWR Lab, now acquired by F-Secure Lab. Available present on the all the platform like Windows, Linux, and Android as well as. So Dozer actually work on two components. It is one is server and another one is client. Server is installed on the Android devices, and client is installed where you are doing the pen testing, whichever Mac OS, Mac, Windows, whatever, whichever. So before that, first we need to run the emulator. First establish the connection with the emulator, then start the Dozer agent in the emulator. So before that, we need to start the Dozer server into the emulator. Then use adb execute the following command. So here command is adb forward TCP 31415 to TCP 31415. So here what simply we are doing here, we are forwarding local port number 31415 to the emulator port 31415 using the adb utility. Then actually 31415 port is used by the Dozer servers, which is run on the emulator. Now after that, use the Dozer console connect command. This is the client client need to connect to the server. So use the command Dozer console connect. After that, use the ls command to list all the package, and after that run the command. There is run utility, and after that sub command you can put the module name, whichever module you want to run, and after that package name, whichever package you are targeting. So here some we need to know the some command before the testing. So there is a command list. List command is used to list out all the available commands in the Dozer, and to know the information about the installed package, just run command, and sub command is app.package.info, and -a option and you can put the package name to get the installed package information. Whichever package information do you want, just put the package name. Then after that, if you want to check the attack surface of the application, which type of attack are available, can be available. So you can use the again utility run, and some sub command is app.package.attack surface. This is a mod sub command, and you have to put the package name. After that, there is a next command, launching activities. So for launching activity, again put the run, and the sub command is app.activity.info -a for all, and that use the package info, package whatever you package info, package name. So suppose before the earlier that we have seen manually to start the activity using the aim. So same thing you can do using the Dozer command. You can start the any activity of the application which is exported. So use the utility run space app.activity.start to starting the activity. Then put the hyphen component. Which component do you want to start? First main component. We have discussed earlier. There are several components of the application: activity, services, broadcast receiver. So you need to put component, then the package name, and after the component name, which component you are targeting. So you can put the component name. So you can start the activity using the start activity utility. After that, here same things we have discussed. Read the content provider. So again put the run app.provider.info subcommand -a and package name. So you are able to read the whichever content provider. If there is exportable content provider there, you can read that content provider data using the content provider. Now move to the next section, reading content provider. So you have to run app.provider.info package name. Find the content provider URI. So which URI actually present for the content provider to access the content provider. Earlier section we have discussed some URI, got some URI through the source code reviewing. You can also find the URL using this utility. You do not need to go into source code review. Just run the run command scanner.provide.find URI subcommand and -a and package name. You are able to get all the URI available in the application using this. Again, if you want to run the content provider query, suppose do you want to query some, you have written some query to get the information from the content provider. We have already discussed earlier section. Then you can use the utility run space app.provider.query and content provider URI. Whichever your content provider URI again in the previous command you can use here, and you are able to access the all the data using the query. So these are the basic command. You need to practice on it. Any application, there are multiple applications present in the internet. You can try on any of it. Yeah, you can also try on the Arogya Setu. Then after that move on the MobiSafe. MobiSafe actually is a tool to analysis of the static and dynamic code. Static and dynamic, you can do both type of analysis, static as well as dynamic, using MobiSafe. So you can to set up MobiSafe either Docker. Using Docker you can easily install MobiSafe. And but if you do not want Docker, there is some package you need to install before the MobiSafe from the GitHub. You have to. So for the Docker, you can use this command docker pull open security hyphen / mobile security hyphen framework MobiSafe, and then run the Docker using this command docker run -it -name MobiSafe name, and you are use the -p P4 the port, local port is 8000, and forwarding to the internal Docker port 8000. Then use the command open security / mobile -security -framework -movesafe :latest. So you are able to run the Docker. So if you want to access that movesafe interface, you need to just provide the, actually Docker is here, we are not defining any IP address. So application will run listen on the all the available port, whichever all the available local IPs, whichever IP present, multiple might be multiple IP. You can access 127, yeah, or any other IP, whichever IP you have. So if you first time go to the movesafe interface, look like that, movesafe dynamic analyzer and recent scan, and here is a upload and analyze section. You can just drop your APK for the analysis. You do not have to do anything, it will do automatically. You need to just analyze the whichever result you get, you need to analyze. So you can see here, after analyzing interface look like this, all the detail of the file information, file name, hashing of the file in the different format, MD5, SHA-1, SHA-256, package name also give, main activity also give, and which SDK is targeting, maximum 23, a minimum is 15, and taker detail, everything is giving, and also information of how many activities present, 17, and how many providers are there. You can observe how many exported providers, there is one exported provider, how many exported activity, you can see exported activity. So you will get all the information automatically within 5 minutes. So next one is MobileXer VM. Actually, MobileXer VM is a operating system's customized virtual machine that is deployed maximum on the Android and iOS tool. You do not need to worry, just need to download virtual machine and start this virtual machine. You are able to get all the things Android and iOS, both the tool present inside it. So actually it is managed by the insiders, and setup and configuration detail can be found in GitHub link. You can find the how to set up that's MobileXer. You can find in the GitHub link. So this is very interesting. You do not worry about all the tool. Just install this VM. So we talk about benefits. What is the benefit of this? You can at least understand the Android security and some testing mechanism. You need to practice on this some test bed. After that, you can try these things on the, if you want to bug bounty. So you can try on the CNAK and HackerOne. You can do the bug bounty. But before, I recommend you just work on the test bed, whichever test bed available. You can do the just crack the CTF. After that, go for the bug bounty. There is several bug bounty available: CNAK, HackerOne, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, many more. You can explore. So one thing also recommended you, if you know something, just try to share with other people, because if you share with other people, you are able to get more knowledge. So don't forget to share your knowledge. And here I am sharing some links to read the mobile security testing. So there is some rule. You can find all the details in the developerandroid.com. This is the main website where you can find all the details related to the developer Android, and you can follow other link too. You can also explore all the things on the Google or in other things. You can try on it, or or if you want to reach us, Satish, as well as then Satish, you can note it down, Satish Verma email ID, and my also email ID is present. You can note it, and LinkedIn profile. You can reach us to LinkedIn profile, or you can also ping us in the YouTube. There, we can try to help your query, resolve your query. So that's it from my side and Satish's side. So we will hope you will enjoy this session, and we will try our best for the next session.
Rinkuji, what are small files?
Smalley file. Yeah, Smalley file is actually the assembling file. There is a dex file is purely bytes, purely binary files. So before that, in the middle of there is assembly file that is written in the assembly language. If you heard about the C language, after C language, low level language, assembly language, then binary file there. So assembly language is a human readable format. You can also write assembly language. So assembly language is DEX formatted assembly file.
Rinkuji, the question is there any specific certification for Android vulnerability testing?
Yeah, there is many certification available. You can try on it. Many certification. But I think if you can learn yourself, no needs any certification to perform, because Android is not a big topic. You can learn easily. There is multiple resources available there in the internet.
So I don't think there's any examination kind of certification available,
No,
like OSCP, which tests your capability,
I
but there are
think
trainings available.
yeah, training available, certification is available. Some of the companies providing certification on Android.
Yeah, certification is available. GIAC provides GMOB certification, which is
Okay.
it is again a proctored exam. So
Yeah.
it's a good one. Apart from that, eLearn Security provide EMPTX, which is a mobile penetration testing certification.
So training plus certification kind of.
Yes. So both the things are included in, because just like OffSec, much better than OffSec, we have SANS, GIAC.
Next question is, someone asked how we set up fully lab for the Android penetration testing. Yeah, I have. If you want to set up the lab, just for the minimum requirement, I am telling you, you need to install Android Studio and JDK GUI and JDX and Dex2Jar tool and APK tool. I think 4 or 5 tool is enough to set up the lab. If you want to do manual pen testing, for the automated, you can try Mobisef. Mobisef is enough for the automated, or you can try Droger also for the automatic. That is the tool.
Okay, then I think okay. So 2 thank yous, and no more questions available as of now. I hope that it answers the queries you all had. In case if you have further more queries, you can reach out to the comment section of the video, or you can reach out through the group of the channel and ask the questions there too. Thank you very much again. Thank you for being available. Let's see you all on the next weekend.
Thank you everyone.
Thank
Thank you
you.
everyone.